living legends are reaching me, sharing knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that is on you and me. Keep on building that synergy. One blood that is on you and me.
Hey everyone, what you doing? It's Friday. Hello everyone, and happy Friday. Happy last day of my power month, guys. The power of 5. You know I live by that. The last day of May 31st, 2024. So look, guys, as you all know, I'm excited about our podcast show called the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. This is our second season. We've been rocking and rolling. I introduced us coming back for the second season 2 weeks ago, and we're here today with a special surprise. So guys, before you do anything, share this out to your family, your friends, the friends that you don't know that your friends. Share it out so that they can take part of this real legacy move story that happened in Maryland, my hometown, Maryland. Please share it out. So y'all know how we do. First, I start with giving thanks to all of those who help us in the community, especially those who are working on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show, the engineers, the AVs, the volunteers, all of those who heard the call and say, you know what, I want to be a guest on your show, Sharon, because I know you're about serving the community. So Crystal Glenn, Smart Video Girl, Only Greatness Media, I want to thank her for always making us show up professional and working behind the scenes to facilitate the podcast show. Again, y'all know my nephew, Sean Parker, who makes sure the lights are shining on us right. So I want to thank Sean Parker. I want to thank Dana Parker, his wife, for creating our theme song, Sharon Lee on the Run. Y'all know I love that song because guess what? You also know I'm not running from anything. I'm running to opportunities, and I want you to have that mindset as well. I want to also thank just all of those who have been past guests on the podcast show. Just know that you can watch this on YouTube. If you're watching over there, let us know. You can watch it on Facebook on the new Facebook page, Leading Within with Sharon Parker. And you can also just, share it out to your family and friends. So rules of the show, guys. You gotta, if you're watching from Facebook, always put your name in the comments so that I can know who's making the comments. Sometimes Facebook doesn't let your name come up, okay? And then if you're over there in YouTube, your name will come up. Just, ask questions, engage in the interview, and just know that we're here to do what? What are we here to do? We're here to laugh, we're here to learn, and we're here to lead. This episode, though, is about a serious matter that, we're going to stay away from the laughing a little bit in this show because some things happened that birthed into a legacy move. So I'm not going to prolong it. I am going to right this moment, bring up our guests for the second season, 7th episode. That power 7, y'all, it means something, right? That 7 is a powerful number. So I want to bring our guests up now and have them just give me a snippet of who they are. Hello,
Sharon.
Okay, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Did you know I had this much energy in me?
I love the energy.
Thank you. It is so wonderful to have you both on the show today. A mom and son story, legacy story is what I call it. That's going to really inspire, I believe, the nation to follow what you all have done in the community. But before I give them, all the juice, I just want to share. We're just going to do a little snippet of an interview of who you are. We're going to share a little background about, your profession, and then we're going to talk about your on the run story, right? And then we're going to share, how people can connect with you and just learn all about your journey. So I'm going to start with you, Gay. Give us a little bit about who you are in the community.
First of all, I mean, the energy matches the weather here in Maryland today because it's beautiful. And Sharon Lee, what you're doing is beautiful. We're excited to be a part of your briefing today. My name is Gay Green Carden, and I'm a mother, I'm a pastor, I'm a VP of sales, I'm a lot of things. But one thing for sure, I am a woman that believes in integrity and fighting for what I believe in. I am happy to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Cameron, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Cameron Marcus Carden. I just want to say that my mother is Gay Carden and my father is Samuel Carden. And I have a brother, Chad Carden. I am the youngest son. And I actually work here at the health department in Anne Arundel County in Annapolis.
Whoa, did y'all hear that, guys? The health department. What month is this? What's this month? What's the significance of this month? Mental health, right?
Yes.
We are talking about it the last day of the month of May, but timing is everything. If you know me, there's a word I use, and it's called synergy. And it's about making connections with the right people at the right time so that it can impact the world. And that's what I live by. So having you all here is just amazing. So what I like to do, and this is part of the segment as well, I like to always give our guests a legacy gift. And this legacy gift you can share indefinitely with anyone, and you can keep it for life and everything. But I'm going to ask our engineer to bring up a video that I created for you all, and I would love for you all to give me your feedback on it.
Wow. Wow, that was wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna have to laugh at myself a little bit because I always, want to share that, life is about just sharing the journey. No matter what it is that you do, it's about sharing the story and telling your story. So I want to make sure, based on your introduction, did that video kind of align to who you are and what you're about?
Exactly. The video was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to be giving that to you. We maybe have to make a little couple of tweaks. Like I saw something that I wanted to check, but we'll make a tweaks in the video and we'll send that to you and everything, and it'll be a YouTube link so you can share with the community. So are you okay with that?
We
Yes,
love it.
it's wonderful.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. All right, guys, let's just jump into it. All right. So we talked about a little bit about who you are and where you're from. Give us a little, information again about, were you born in Maryland? Give us a little information about your family, where you come from.
So I'll start first because you mentioned the power of seven. I
Mhm.
am the seventh child out of eight children to parents, the late James Green and my mom, Annie Green, in Pasadena, Maryland.
Wow.
We grew up in Pasadena, Maryland, and that's my home. I was educated in the Anne Arundel County Public Schools. I went to University of Maryland, and I lived really close to where I was born. So that's where I started. And then Cameron came along.
So yes, I'm from Clinton, Maryland, and I grew up in Prince George's County. And I attended Annapolis Area Christian in high school, graduated with a 3.8 average, and yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is really going to be one of those power questions, guys. Did you ever imagine, with your background, where you come from, all the ancestors who worked to make, the world, but Maryland in particular, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, so many who worked to make life better for us. Did you ever think, what? I'm everybody know my age, so I don't mind sharing it because last year I celebrated my 60th because it was around the same time of like the 60th celebration of the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. And I shared with you all in the pre-interview that I'm a civil rights baby. And I grew up in an era where I know what some of us went through growing up. But our ancestors, our leaders fought for us to make things a little better for us. And I said a little better for us. But did you ever imagine having to go through some of the things that you're going through in society today? And guys, I'm not going to give it all away yet because I want you to know, I want to get their gut feeling on why this is important for you to never ever forget your history and why it's important to stay connected to your family. But did you ever imagine going through some of the things you're going through in the society today?
Yeah, and I'm a civil rights baby also, so I can relate to that. I remember being perfect attendance student. And I remember I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., so we could make Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, national holiday. And I remember just going to school that morning and just making sure that I fight to make this national holiday. So when it comes in January, I am applauding myself because I was one of those kids who fought, who rode the bus, to went to the National Mall to make this day a holiday. So I have it
Mm.
fight in me from the beginning. And I can share with Cameron. Cameron can tell his story, how he fought as a kid, even being like in the National Olympics in Georgia.
Wow.
Yes.
Share that, Cameron.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, I went to the Junior Olympics in Georgia for track and field. I ran hurdles, and I was just always a fighter in track. Throughout all my events, I just wanted to keep pushing just to finish the race. So I think that can relate to the story that we have and we will share.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm thinking, the synergy here is I used to run track too in Calvary County, Maryland. I was pretty fast back in the day. Okay. So that Sharon Lee on the run didn't just start from me running away from stuff. It started me running to stuff, but I used to be in track. And Gay, I didn't know that you did that. I want our guests to know, you're gonna watch this now, you're gonna watch this later, but I want them to know about Gay. Gay has been a community leader for a long, long time. And when she's called on to speak on major platforms She comes running because she understands the importance of making this generation a little, success a little better than what we went through, or lives a little better than what we went through, guys. So, Gay, I've seen you all over Maryland speaking on major platforms. And yes, guys, she was at the Annapolis 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, speaking there as well. And I ran into her and I was like, thank you, Lord. Who knew, right? A few months later, that we would be sitting in this podcast talking about an incident that happened on your platform, on your watch. But guys, I'll say to you now, don't mess with certain people's moms. Moms' children, don't do it, because you will get your feelings hurt one way or the other. This woman is not to be messed with. Okay, and we're going to tell you why. But before we do that, we're going to go into a little ad, and I'm going to have Chris bring up a flyer about an event that's going to happen in September. And Chris, please feel free to bring it up, and you can keep me on screen and I can talk about it. But I want to share with you all how there's so many people out there that's building connections, making legacy moves, and doing the synergy thing, just finding out what makes the community a little better. And they've been doing this, for as long as I've been running my organization, Rosa, and even way before that. So Chris, feel free to bring up the flyer, that one. Oh, yes. So I want to thank Dr. Teresa Mosley, who used to be a principal at Crossland High School here in Maryland. She has been on some educational platforms. She's been really, supporting me and my organization, Rosa. And y'all know Rosa means Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association. Well, she just notified me this morning that I will be receiving an award for the Passion Purpose Peace Award. And she wanted me to share this share this opportunity with you all on September 22nd from 10 to 4. Please go and Google this. She's going to be at, I think it's going to be at the, it says it, the Martin Crosswind in Greenbelt, Maryland. We want you in the room to honor some phenomenal moms and some phenomenal leaders in the community who also will be receiving this award. Believe me, if you know Dr. Mosley, you know that she is really, really doing a synergy legacy move outreach, and I look forward to being honored there. So thank you for that, Chris. All right, let's bring our guests back up and let's jump into what happened. All right, Cameron, we're going to start with you. So you graduated from what high school again?
Annapolis Area Christian.
Okay, wonderful. And you had a 3.9 GPA.
Yes.
And you decided you wanted to go to college. What did you want to major in?
So I wanted to major in business management, and I wanted to have my own business. That was my dream.
Okay.
But further in the years, I changed it to sports management, though.
That's fine. Management, business. I do project management. So once I got my certification in project management, I knew that business is all industries, and you can apply any type of certificates to any business. So, okay. So you go off to college. Which college did you go to?
So after high school, I actually attended a prep school in Connecticut called St. Thomas More Prep School because I was on an athletic scholarship.
Okay.
So after that, I went to Western New England, a full scholarship to Western New England and Massachusetts. And then after Western New England, I wanted to come home and further my education. So I attended Salisbury University.
Wonderful. So what year was this?
2019 when I attended Salisbury University.
And when you went to Salisbury, how did it start off? I mean, were you happy being there? Were you excited to be, pursuing your professional, educational dreams?
Yes, I was so excited to attend the campus. I knew the football coach, so I was very familiar with the football team and everything, the coaching staff. But yeah, I was very excited to be there on campus.
Okay, so tell us what happened.
So it was woodshop class. It was like 2 weeks into the semester, and it was my first class, and it wasn't even 20 minutes where I saw racial graffiti written on the wall. Well, so yeah, I went to my teacher. I explained what I saw, and he was like, "Okay, don't worry, we'll paint over it." So they paint over it, and next day it was there again, more racial slurs on the
Mhm.
wall and different racial slurs. But so I went to him again, and I was just telling this professor, I don't feel safe being here. And that's actually when I stepped out and contacted my mom and explained what happened. And that weekend, it was a parent student like day where the parents come and we show our parents around the campus and tell
Mm.
our classes and everything. So it was just where I told my mom, I explained to her, I don't feel safe on campus. I just want
Mm.
to come back home. I don't care about continuing my education. I was just heartbroken at that moment. And that's basically what happened to me. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you for being so transparent and sharing that. Now, Gay, you hearing your son express himself when you went to the university, what was your mindset and what did you decide to do?
So I was excited that Cameron decided to come from the New England states to come home to Maryland to be close to the family. We're a close knit family, and Cameron is my youngest son, and then I have Chad, my oldest son. So we're excited. So when we went to the parent weekend, we were excited to go. My sisters came, my little cousins came. We wanted to see Cameron's dorm room. We were just excited to be there. But what's heartbreaking to me, and it's really hard for me to even talk about it today, is seeing a child that I sent to school in a different light. I saw that Cameron was no longer Cameron, the vibrant,
Mm.
the healthy Cameron, the Cameron that was outgoing. And I told my sister, I said, something's wrong with Cameron because this is not the Cameron that I sent to school.
Mm.
Parent dream is to send their kid to college and pray that everything go well and they make good choices.
Yes.
And so I knew, and I kept asking, I said, is everything okay? And he was like, it's okay. And so I worried. But it was that Monday morning when we got back to Maryland and when I received that call from Cameron stating that he wanted to come home. And I said, you want to come home? He said, this place is not for me, Mom. And he told me what happened. And so my heart dropped
Yeah.
because we were in the New England schools and he was treated like a king. But to come home to Maryland, the place where I grew up, the place where he grew up,
Yes.
confronted with racial graffiti. And I knew that it affected him greatly because he's a strong athlete. And I saw his personality just vanish right in front of my eyes.
Wow. I really am so sorry to hear that you went through that, Cameron, and you, Gay, had to witness your baby, going through that. I've heard so many stories over, I would say, over the last 5, maybe more years of how young people, I don't care what industry it is, have not been themselves due to so many issues in the community. And this is the last one that, I would expect to happen, especially to your son, who I know was given the best of the best to be the best that he could possibly be. And then to have to witness this, how many years ago? 5 years now? That's 5 years ago. That's not good. So I want the community to really understand how powerful this interview is, and this mom who does everything for her babies and everything just wanted to make sure that her son get the best opportunities like every other mom wants. So, Gay, something else happened after Cameron came home. You decided to ask Salisbury to reimburse your sons or the more money you all pay for tuition. What happened?
So after he came home, we scheduled, my husband and I scheduled a meeting with this administration to see the next steps because he was like 2.5 weeks in school and he was doing well as far as academics. And we sat with the president, we sat with the student affairs officer, and they understood where we were coming from. On the phone, they shared with us that it would be no problem for them to reimburse us. Then
Mm.
they looked into the student handbook. They said if he was injured from football, a physical injury, we would get the money back with no problem. But there was no place or line item for mental injury. And
Mm.
so as we sat at the table, Cameron was sitting beside me and they said to him, they said, Cameron, well, today we're going to share with you, we can't give you any refund. And he said, so do you know what that means? That means that if you leave today, your parents are going to lose their money, every dime that they paid to the college. You will not
Wow.
get anything back. And so Cameron looked at me. He said, Mom, if I have to work 3 jobs, he said, I can't stay here at this place. I will reimburse you and Dad for the money.
Oh, wow. So I just can't imagine the university not having a policy in place to deal with, mental challenges that our younger generation go through because they've been going through it for so long, and in different households, different platforms. I mean, it's not a white or black thing. It's all children are suffering, somewhere or another because of mental illness. But let's pause right there, guys. I want to bring up your actual video again, because I want the community to see this vibrant young man who had everything going for him, and he should have the same opportunities that all others have to. And I think, and Gay, you had made a quote in a magazine or something with some interview you did, and I just love that quote. I don't know if you can remember it, but there was a quote that I thought was powerful. The way you spend your money in education, your kids should have security. And then you went on and said some other thing. I didn't remember that verbatim, but I want to share that quote out to the world. I did type it up, and I'm going to send it out to people. But Chris, if you could bring that video up again, the journey of Gay and Cameron, I would really appreciate that, so that those who are watching will see how this young man just wanted to get a college degree. All right. So I'm just, feeling all these emotions right now. And guys, I did say this is a podcast that we laugh and we learn and we lead. I'm trying to find the laughter in this all. Okay. The good thing here is that you all took a major step, a historical step. And I'm gonna just let you tell us. Tell us what you did once you realized that you could not get your money back, and most importantly, you could not get the university to deal appropriately with the racial issue that was going on at their university.
So the first thing we did, we followed the protocol as far as the reimbursement policy. So when we learned that they were not going to budge as far as our refund, immediately I contacted the Maryland Higher Education as far as writing a letter to them, and I contacted many people. But there was one contact that I called on because I knew he was instrumental in the community, and that's the Honorable Carl Snowden, who makes a difference. If you go to Carl, you know that you're going to get action. So I felt my action, my fierceness, and my energy would spark a note. And so I had the opportunity to present this story to the caucus, and they were behind me. So the next week, I was speaking at a community event in Anne Arundel County and saw Delegate Shanika Henson there. And I told her, I said, look, I'm a mother and I know you're a mother. I said, but I need your help. And she said, if you would send me an email the next day. And that next day, when I sent the email, I had a force behind me.
Whoa.
So when I shared that with Cameron, he said, Mom, he said, this is just the beginning. He said, we cannot quit. And to hear your son say that we can't quit a race, and I was like, yeah, I said we can't. And so every day we did something as far as putting our story out. But it was 3 years ago that we were able to sit in front of the delegates and share our story, what happened. And it was passed unanimously. So we were happy, we were celebrating, but it didn't get to the Senate.
Okay, so I have some people, in backstage. They're just, clapping it all up. They're happy to hear this. I'm happy to hear it. The world is going to be happy to hear it. And this power duel, this mom and son power duel, is something that I believe the world's been looking for, because you're not only educating us about what you went through, you're sharing the process that you took to make this happen. And the great thing about it is Honorable Carl Snowden was a past podcast guest on our show. So he gave us his whole family's legacy. He's doing the same thing you all did. I've been following him for years. I'm a former commissioner for the Maryland Commission on African American History and Culture, which I shared that with you all. And every time I go to the Banneker Douglas Museum in Annapolis, it just fires me up to, inspire our community not to let history repeat itself. I don't know how often I got to say it, but I'm always pushing it, because we need to work collectively to make sure that our babies, our elders, don't go through again what they went through, but also our young people don't go through what's going on in the society today as well. So I want to bring Charlene Day on the screen with us, because Charlene has a son. And Charlene's son went through one of my youth programs, and he's going off to college, I believe, next year or this year. And I want Charlene to share a little bit about who she is. And then also, if she has a couple of questions, if you all don't mind answering that would be wonderful if you could do that. So, hey, Charlene.
Oh my gosh. I'm back here crying. I'm trying to drink tea. I'm like, oh my God. Woo, I just want to keep replaying this, but I'm going to calm down because I just love y'all already. I always love Sharon, but this is just a miracle from God. Sitting in my hand right now, I was apart with Delegate Woods and a couple of other people that was there in Annapolis just a couple of weeks ago. And what makes this so significant, I'll call you Mr. and Mrs. Carden, is that Delegate Woods, although her son is gone, and this could have happened to any of our sons, she fought for a bill also. And her health bill was actually Health Bill 404. And we were there to see it signed into law. She named it Gabriel's law, because he was found dead in his apartment because someone didn't want to check on him from the other state. So the law said that we're not in that state. You're in Maryland, he's in Virginia or DC, and we're not going over there. Literally, isn't it ridiculous? Mm-hmm. He has a documented illness, mental illness, and you still wouldn't check on him. Well, I'm sorry, they have to do it now. It is a requirement, a wellness check, to make sure that you can cross over the line and you can knock on that door and make sure that child is okay. Is that not hot?
That's amazing.
And to hear you, like, I got my own son, I will hurt you for him. Okay. Like, what? He's my only son. Right? Like, you don't even know what you're saying. Like, even right now, I have things that's going on with the school, and I'm like writing all these notes that you're teaching me. And I'm like, God, you are talking to Charlene. You are saying what I need to hear. I mean, right now I'm holding, this is how I know it's so important. Governor Westmore
Yes,
Yes.
gave me
more.
his pen.
Yes.
Yes.
He gave me the pen. He said, what's up, Charlene? I'm like, oh, I don't know what's up. But today I know what's up. I know because you guys have encouraged me to understand that there is a due process. After you go through all the protocols and after they tell you no, right, there is still a due process, but you got to ask for help. Now, she did ask you a couple of questions, but I was like, I can't wait to ask them some more questions. Okay, so I had a question. I didn't hear when you said that you actually, were you only there like one semester when this happened to you?
Correct.
Is
Yeah.
that right? Oh, one semester is too long. Thank you. That was good enough. Okay. Yes. I love it. And then the other question is for the listening audience who may not understand how to get a bill passed. You kind of went through it. We know that you asked for help, but after that, you said you had to do some networking to actually continue this bill to working its way to the Senate. Can you explain that process for some mother like myself that may have to go fight a little bit harder against the school? My son is in high school, one more year. What that process would look like for someone to say, I don't know. I'm not a vice president of a company. I'm also not a mother of a college student. Like, what can I do? I don't know legislation. What can I do? And I just want you to please share that with people, even somewhat like myself, because I know a little bit, but not a lot, how they would start that process and carry it on.
Excellent question, Charlene.
So that's a great question, like Sharon mentioned. But first of all, I want to congratulate you in reference to your son going to college. So the process does not end. You have to have that dialogue with everyone that you meet, whether it's the grocery store, the bank, telling our story. We told our story to everyone. People listened. And more importantly, is just making sure that you're visible. So when we realized that it did not get to the Senate, we found different ways to get the bill there. We created flyers. We partnered with C. Anthony Muse, who's a senator. I grew up with him. And so I told him my story. I said, you have to listen to Cameron's story. That name, Cameron Cardin, was ringing all over Anne Arundel County. I'm a pastor, so I mentioned Cameron Cardin. Cameron Cardin plays the drums at the church, and he would tell his friends, you got to tell your parents about this. We even visited colleges and shared our story. If you're feeling like you are lost, always find someone that you can connect with. And I'm so grateful that Cameron connected with me, his mother, because so many kids do not connect with anyone. So I was glad that Cameron felt the strength to connect with me. And we just kept running the race, connecting, networking, flyers, every chance we got as far as the platform, we mentioned Cameron Cardin. We partnered with the television stations, and it's pretty easy to do. When you tell the story, a mother and a child, that's big news. And someone being scarred, and mental illness is so real. And the blessing is Cameron is alive. He's a real person with a real bill.
Yes.
So that's where my heart is. And so he can tell his story wherever he goes. And I'm so grateful. We're here at the Anne Arundel County Health Department today, and they have opened up their arms as far as making sure Cameron is comfortable. And they did an interview with him with Health Equity and also with the deputy of chief. And so all of the employees here got to see that message. And so many of the parents said, where was Cameron when my child was in school? Where was Cameron? And so, he may not have been there then, but we're here now.
Absolutely.
Right.
And with that being said, what we're going to do, we're going to go to another commercial because I got to get to the on the run segment. And then I'm going to ask a couple of more bills about the law and or the bill that was passed. And then we're going to the end of the program. So, Chris, there's a flyer, if you could bring that up, about Rosa's giveaway. So we're doing y'all. We gotta make some money over here for our podcast show, right? We gotta serve people. We can't do it without our money. So if you all know me, again, you know that I love giving stuff away because I got a problem. I'm laughing at myself again. I am running away from shopping. I shop too much. Okay. So I want to give as much stuff away as possible. So I have this Rosa Legacy grab bag coming up that's going to be starting every Friday from 10 to 12 and Saturday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. So if y'all need any jewelry, hats, shoes, electrical, accessories, contact me. You see my contact there, and just know that we got some nice, classy stuff going over here at Rosa. And I would love for you all to say, Sharon, I want my grab bag, my Rosa Legacy grab bag. So I just wanted to share that. We're going to bring our guest back up because I know, Cameron's at work and it's going to be a busy day. So we want to make sure that we get him through this interview so he can go back to work. But guys, for the audience who don't know the actual name of the bill, we've been saying Cameron Cardin throughout the whole interview, but we want to make it clear, okay, to the community. What is the name of the bill and what's the number of that bill?
So the name is the Cameron Cardin Act of 2024, and it is House Bill 539 and it's Senate Bill 567.
Got it. I was wondering what the HB was and the SB was, and I'm like, I can remember the numbers, but what are those two letters? Thank you for educating us and making that clear to us. Cameron, man, I tell you, you have made my world. Honestly, you and your mom, the students who work with you. I think I was reading something about Morgan State and the University of Maryland. You work with them to help. It takes a village, to kind of move things. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for making a choice for you. You made a choice to say no. As much accolades that I know you would have gotten at the university because you're just who you are, because you're Gay Cardin, son. So I already know. But you made a choice and you said, my health, my psyche, my soul matters. And I'm just happen to be the luckiest young man on the earth because Gay Cardin is my mom. And they had no idea who they were, unfortunately, and when I say they, I'm not talking against the university, if that makes any sense. I'm talking against the behavior and the mindset. I don't care if it's from, the top to the bottom. I don't care what industry it is. If you're in leadership, if you are pursuing leadership, you have a responsibility to be professional, kind, loving, and giving to everyone. You don't get an opportunity to say just because I'm a college graduate, I can be a bully. You don't get the opportunity to say because I'm a college graduate, I can be a racist or I can be, a mean person. You don't get those opportunities just to say that because you may have making $200,000 a year and you may have a degree behind your name. Guys, your character matters. Mm-hmm. Community, your character matters. Teach that to every young child. Professionals, what you do behind the scenes matters. Elders, I know y'all don't make any mistakes, but elders, okay, what you do matters because our babies are watching. So we're going to move into this next episode about the On the Run story. Guys, y'all know my platform. I talk about being a civil rights baby again, born in Calvert County, Maryland. Although it's only 45 minutes from Washington, D.C., I felt like I was stuck in some rural area way out in South Carolina somewhere because my mom didn't drive. I couldn't get around and I felt like I was stuck. So the moment I graduated from high school in 1982, I never looked back. I kept on running. Yes. And I was lucky to land a federal job, where I've been there now for 36 years. I was lucky to start an organization called Rosa, which I love, to inspire the community to engage with one another so we can learn about our history, teach our youth the history. But that was my On the Run story. I'm going to start with you, Cameron, as a little tot. What are some of the things you may have been running from? What's your On the Run story?
So my On the Run story started when I was on the road to recovery after Salisbury. it kind of builded up when my demeanor changed, how my social skills turned into loneliness, my self-confidence turned into fear, and it just made me want to provide something where no other student will have to go through the same thing that I went through, so they won't have to be on the run.
I
So
hear you.
yeah.
So I'm again, I'm so sorry you went through that. But when I look at your success, you're working at the health department, you're doing interviews, man, you're doing interviews all over the place, and you can really articulate yourself very, very well. I am just so glad that you're now running to opportunities. And based on this little podcast show, the world is going to know about this, okay? Because one thing about live broadcast, it goes global, and you are inspiring every young person, even those in the past, who have gone to colleges or gone through any businesses, who may have had some type of issue and dropped out or whatever, for whatever reason. You're inspiring them to find themselves, find their voice, and get back in the game, because their story matters, just like your story matters. And I am so proud of you. So, Gay, all right, so civil rights baby as well. Tell us about your on the run story, and don't be shy to go all the way back to the beginning.
I won't. I won't. So being the seventh child out of 8 children, it was a struggle. I have working parents, and sending me to college for my college degree, that was a big thing. They saved their pennies. I remember getting an allowance for $20 a week to be at University of Maryland. And my dad told me, he said, I will give you all the resources. The only thing I want you to come back with, not a baby, not anything else, but a college degree. And
Wow.
so I remember my dad and come back with a degree, the first in my family to have a college. And so I always remember what my parents said, always strive for excellence. And so when I thought about that, and I'm a mentor to many young people, and I see a lot. And so there are many things they can take from young people. They can take their Jordans, they can take their Helly Hansen jackets, but the education is one thing they cannot take from you. And so I stress that with my children, that education is so important. And with this bill, we want to educate those students who feel like there is a fear in them, that education is the key to success. And I just want to say the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to the one that endures to the end. And that's what we've been doing.
That's just totally amazing. I'm so glad that you shared that, because again, we've only shared a speck of what you do and what you have done in the community. And the fact that your parents understood that it starts with education and everything speaks volumes. It really speaks volumes. So I want to ask you all now, because we want to make it very, very clear to the public. With this Cameron Carden Act, what will parents get from this act? What exactly does this act do?
So as of July 1st, 2024, another month to go, in all of the Maryland schools, state and universities, there is in their policy, and we're working now with the Higher Education for Maryland, that there will be a line item. If a student is suffering from any kind of depression, anxiety, that's forbidding them to go on, there is a safe place with documentation from a provider that they will be able to go to a safe place they feel and get a refund. So we're excited about that. We're in the works now, working with the Department of Higher Education for Maryland. So we have a busy month ahead of us to make it happen July 1st, 2024. And parents, you can feel secure when you send them there to be safe and not return as a damaged good. That's a blessing.
That is amazing. Did you all hear that, guys? Moms, look, I serve on a national board called American Mothers Inc. And this year they celebrated their 89th convention in Omaha, Nebraska, during a tornado. I'm not laughing at y'all, but it's a laugh, learn, and lead show, right?
Yeah.
But oh my God. So Dr. Charlene Day, who came on earlier, I mentioned to y'all, is the 2024 Maryland Mother of the Year. But Gay, you and your son's story, I strongly encourage those in the community to go to www.American Mothers Inc. for the 90th convention, which is going to be held in Puerto Rico in 2025, but to nominate Gay Carden as Mother of the Year from Maryland. I'm just making a recommendation. I'm on the national board, but I can make a recommendation. Okay, I can make a recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, but nominate her for 2025 Maryland Mother of the Year, because these are the kind of legacy stories we are looking for. I'm the area coordinator 5. I have not only control of educating mothers in Maryland, DC, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, where else? Alabama, and I think even also Delaware. So as an Area 5 coordinator under the National American Mothers Organization, this is what I live for. I want to get this out to you all, to all the moms. And believe me, I will be getting it to the national board and sharing your story with them. But guys, you know, we only got a few minutes left. I know, like I said, Cameron has to get back to work. How can people reach out to you, support you, connect with you to make sure that this goes just, again, global, and that provide you with any resource that you may need? So Cameron, you can start first.
So they can reach out to my email. It is Cameron Carden, CameronCarden 1130@gmail.com. And they can just reach out to me, ask any questions. If they want to share their story, they can feel free to.
Thank you, Cameron. Believe me, you're going to get a lot of emails. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing already in advance. Okay, because you're going to get a lot of email. So, you know, tread lightly.
Yes. And just like Cameron, we both put our emails in the chat. So mine is gaycarden@verizon.net, GAYCARDEN@verizon.net. And so at this time, we're in the process of building our foundation. So eventually, you know, we will open it up even to provide resources to us to continue our fight.
Well, you can take it for sure that the synergy that we've built today on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast show with little civil rights baby Sharon Lee on the run, you got total support. Again, people don't know your reach until, you know, you reach out to people.
Yes.
Does that make sense? You know, they don't understand. So synergy is what I live for. And believe me, guys, you have just made some major legacy moves. We're going to support you every step of the way. I want to thank you. I want you to stay behind a little bit in the backstage, the green room, because we're going to do a photo shoot of just us on the podcast. And then we're going to end the podcast show. Guys, share this out to your family, to your friends, and your colleagues, because the world needs to know about this bill, HB 539, SB 567. So Cameron and Gay, you're wonderful. I appreciate you for giving your time to us today. And please, please, please know that we love and support you. And Cameron, we're just so happy for you and proud of you. So keep up the great work. With that said, Chris, you can close us out with our theme song. Guys, you all are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I want my theme song. I want my theme song. Bye, everyone.